Hi, I'm Lisa, and I am the Vice President for Operations. My responsibilities are overseeing the function of the facilities on campus, the information technology services, the commercial real estate operations, and safety and security and business diversity. So, the main priorities and principles that I've focused on when going into this campus plan is that I need to focus on if facilities are in working condition, all the communication devices are up to date, the renovations are being done, and security and safety of students. So, as before we went into our cabinet meeting, each of the departments was asked to rate the issues based on order of importance. Now, I rated the issues based on my position, where number one was the 25-year-old buildings needed to be updated for comfort and cosmetics. And the reason why I feel like this is the most important is because one of the biggest factors that we as a cabinet even came together and discussed is that the campus will benefit the most when if student enrollment goes up. And as much as we want to say that students pick schools based off of academics, a lot of it has to do with how the campus feels to them, how comfortable they are in the residence halls and things like that. So buildings that are 25 plus years old, they don't really feel comfortable and they're not updated. So a lot of the buildings, like, they wouldn't have Wi-Fi and everything, which is another issue. So that's one of the things that I did. It was my highest priority. My second one was the residence hall renovations, which are, like I said, I feel like are very high up on the list because that's what's going to bring the students into us. It's not necessarily academics. They'll stay for the academics and they'll stay for the degree and everything. But if they're not comfortable in the residence halls, if the residence halls have creaky pipes and stuff like that because of how old they are, or if their rooms are really small or they don't have bathrooms or something like that, those could be the very little factors that they don't want to come here anymore. And so I feel like that was the importance. The third on my list of important issues, being the safety and security of the students, was where we had hazardous materials just stored in the basements of buildings. And so that I felt like was important to make sure that at least the cabinet understood that while it might not be on our top priorities at the moment, it needs to be close to the top because safety is very important, especially for everybody, to make sure everybody is all good on the campus as a whole. What the other things that I had, and I'm sorry, I do apologize for looking at my list really quick. It is the other thing that I had was the radio dispatch compatibility for the police department. Now, if the police department isn't updated with their radio and dispatch compatibility, then that's also falls under the safety. If something goes wrong and they can't communicate with dispatch from wherever they are on campus, then that falls under operations, and we need to make sure that at some point in time that it is a priority to fix that stuff. But when coming together with all of these issues in my department, I came together with the rest of the cabinet of the VPs of each of the departments, and we kind of talked about, okay, yes, they are important, but what are the top issues that are going to help us with student enrollment, because that essentially is what we need to go for in order to have money coming in again. So what we kind of decided was it was the 25 plus year old buildings, which was fine because that was my number one as well. Then you had the residence hall and renovations. Then we had the campus police, and then we also went to but we had athletics, basketball, athletics, football, because we realized that those would bring in a lot of revenue and money as well, because a lot of people go to sporting events. So those, and then the HSI and student support services, because to have support for our students is also a very important factor that students do look at when they go to schools. So a lot of the issues that my department specifically felt were important did actually become the top priorities of the rest of the campus as well. So they're actually some of the ones that we are going to be focusing on, of the 7 that we did pick, and which is a really good thing that we did come to an agreement with that. It did take a little bit of a discussion to make sure that everybody was on the same page, but we came to the conclusion together very quickly. So I'm very happy that everybody was able to work together as good as we did. But yeah, so that is kind of my role, and that's kind of the part that I played in the whole discussion that, with the rest of the cabinet. And I hope that we can get this campus plan going, and there are very good things to come in the near future. Thank you.